This video is being brought to you by Patreon support. If you want to support me on Patreon, it's only $1 a month, and it really helps out the channel and helps get stuff like what I'm covering today on the channel. So if you want to help me out, it's in the description below, and at the end of the video, you can just click the link, and it'll bring you right to my page. Thank you, and on with the video. Alright, I enjoyed doing that last video about C-Lab 2021, so I figured I'm going to do a video talking about the very first Cartoon Network / Adult Swim show that kind of went from like kid friendly to adult when Adult Swim was like conceptualized. And I'll get into that later on in the video. But if you like these videos, leave a like, comment down below, subscribe, all that good stuff. You guys know the drill. Anyway, let's get on with this video and talk about Space Ghost Coast to Coast and why I still really enjoy that show today. I'm laughing because the show just has aged so well, and I really still enjoy it. So let's get into it here. So Space Ghost Coast to Coast started in I believe the pilot was pitched in like 1993 or something like that, but it didn't get picked up till like 94 or something like that. Let me check. Okay, I was alright. I just want to make sure that I was correct in what I was saying. It was 1994 when it started. Now I don't remember watching it like from day one, but I know when I was growing up and little, like around that age to like probably 8, 9, 10 years old. Anytime I got to stay up later, and I was able to watch Space Ghost Coast to Coast, I really enjoyed it, and I thought that was really funny. And it also spawned a spin-off, like Saturday morning, I think it was a Saturday morning thing or whatever. It was like early morning AM show called Cartoon Planet. And that didn't run for nearly as long as Space Ghost did, but it was a more kid-friendly version of that. It just read mail. There was like mailbag day and poem, like Poets Corner. Brack would sing songs all the time, like I'm a Cucumber, about beans and other stuff like that. And there were just weird kooky songs, and they would just do weird little skits. And that I actually do remember watching a lot. But Space Ghost, getting back to that, and I'll show you the collection I have here in a second. But going back to Space Ghost, Coast to Coast, when Adult Swim started in 2001, they moved Space Ghost over to that lineup, but it was still relatively kid friendly. Like there were more adult jokes in the Adult Swim like carryover, I guess. But I think it got more adult like in the late 90s to like I'm trying to think when the first like really adult episode was. I know my brother's gonna watch this video. He'll probably comment and say like when the first real Adult Swim with like actual like cussing and like sexual jokes and like all this other stuff was introduced in it. And it was still funny too, even after it went like semi-adult. And it wasn't like super adult either. It was still like very tasteful, but it was definitely geared more towards like teenage to like high school to adult aged people. And that starting lineup of like home movies, Space Ghost, Aqua Teen, Harvey Birdman, C-Lab, stuff like that, all like the pioneer shows. Like I vividly remember when it moved over and all that classic Adult Swim bumper with all kids out of the pool, all that stuff. Like I remember that, and that was like that was really cool to me. And actually, my brother used to tape. Going to Aqua Teen for a second here, but he used to tape new episodes of like Aqua Teen and Harvey Birdman and stuff like that, so I could watch it since he was out of school at that point and could stay up late enough and watch it. And I was still in school. I couldn't stay up that late and watch the shows that I really wanted to watch them, but I could because I was still in school. I was in middle school, so I couldn't stay up that late and watch it. I could if I had like spring break or something like that, but it was few and far between where I was actually able to catch an episode live. But going back to Space Ghost, I just really enjoy this show, and that's why I picked this collection up. Now this is the Space Ghost Coast Ghost All Talk collection, and it's 10 discs or 9 discs, I believe. And here's the back. And yes, it was autographed by Andy Morell. I did meet him twice. He's a very funny guy, and it was funny when I put this up there to get autographed. He thought this was a bootleg, but I had to explain to him that this was a Australian import, and that I had literally like the week of the con that I was going to meet him in December. I got it that Monday, like the week of the con. It was the con was Friday, Saturday, Sunday that week. I got it that Monday of that week, so I cut it really close getting this thing. But I'm glad I got it because it's actually it's a really cool set. But there is a caveat to it. But he did autograph some of the discs. I'll pull out one of them here and show you if it'll show up on. I'll see if I can. And yes, they still work. It's fine that they were autographed. He did that on a couple of discs. By the way, I'm not going to pull them all out, but that was just one of them. But the bad thing about this set, well, one, the case was damaged in shipping, I think, but that's fine. It still closes. Nothing else is really broken. Just the closing clasp of the bottom closing thing doesn't shut, but that's fine. But the bad thing about this set is that it's not technically the complete series of Space Ghost, and even so, even with this, I don't know what to call it. It was like a burn-on-demand DVD that they did on Adult Swim's website, and they sold the other two volumes 4 and 5, that way too. But they weren't burn on demand. They were actually released only on the Adult Swim store website. We were stupid and didn't ever order them, and now they're really expensive. And they're still kind of expensive. They're not as expensive as they used to be. So one of these days I'm gonna buy them for my brother or something, so he can have a semi-complete set of Space Ghost, because the only way to semi-complete Space Ghost, and I say semi because it's not really even if you get this last volume, the question mark volume, that was the burn on demand thing, where you could take like certain episodes from Space Ghost, and then they would burn like the episode and like send you the disc with like case art and stuff. I think that's how it worked. I'm not really sure, but there was a seller on eBay that was selling a bunch of them, and they haven't sold them in a while. So, but usually they're between like $90 and $100 because they were always sold in that way, and so that's the most complete way you can get Space Ghost, is getting that volume as well, plus this or just the individual sets. But the problem is that even with those, that's still not technically the complete like Space Ghost series or collection, because there's also like special like webisode things that were done and stuff like that. And those have never been released like on physical media. And I believe there's a couple of them that were lost and not preserved, which is another reason why I really do like having physical media, because this wouldn't be an issue if they would have released it all, but they didn't. And even Australia, I don't know why they didn't just add another disc with the remaining episodes at least, that weren't released on volume. I think it's 4 and 5. I don't remember what volume number they are. Um, my brother would correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that's what it is. I forget what they were actually called. They were called something else. But the last volumes that were released on Adult Swim's website were um were only sold for as long as the Adult Swim. Sorry, I started to cough there for a second. But they were only available for as long as the Adult Swim store was up and running, and I believe it ceased operation like mid like after the 2010s. I don't remember exactly when it ceased to exist, but after that, that's when they really started to go up in value because of that fact, because you couldn't buy them anymore from Adult Swim. So that's why they're so expensive. I want to stress this too. I'm only talking about the U.S. releases. If you want to import them and get the Australian releases of the last 2 volumes, they're way cheaper, but you will have to have like a region-free DVD player or just download VLC player and pop them into your PC or a DVD drive if you have one, and you can just watch it that way. Because VLC player, I don't know how it does it, but it gets past any region protection as far as I know. Excuse me. I'm pretty sure. Every region DVD I have, which is like we have region 1, 2, 4, and I forget what region Japanese DVDs are. I think there's still Japanese in region 1, but I have one Japanese DVD. Um, but as long as they have like VLC player or a read or VLC or like some kind of media player that gets past region protection, or like a region free DVD player, then you'll be good to go. But the issue with this is it's actually pretty hard to find, and I know for a fact my brother's probably kind of jealous that I actually have this, because he would probably prefer this version because it's all in one case, but it's really expensive and really hard to find. And shout out to my Patreon supporters, because without you guys, I wouldn't have been able to buy this, because it was over $100 for this thing. Yes, that's expensive. Yes, it's a lot, but I really wanted it because I really enjoy this show. And Do I recommend uh, picking the individual sets up or this? If you're a fan of Space Ghost, yes. Just know this: it's not the complete series, and but it is a lot of Space Ghost episodes, and there's a lot of good episodes on here. So while it doesn't have like the Triumph episode and a couple other episodes, I can't remember off the top of my head. Um, it does have a good chunk of Space Ghost. So just know what you're getting into when you either buy this set or buy the other 2 volumes that are expensive if you're a fan of Space Ghost Coast to Coast. And if you're not, I don't think it's available for streaming anymore on Max. I think you can get on like Apple iTunes, I think, but I think that's the only way you can stream it or get it digitally, I guess. I think they took it off Max like not too long ago. Um, but anyway, so I really do love the show. I need to get back to watching the last the last disc I left off on, because I started watching it when my last TV broke, like the picture stopped working for some reason. So I didn't have anything to do, so I just started watching this the night that it broke. So I need to get back and finish the rest of it, and I have. Because it's really funny, and it just sucks that I'll never be able to meet like the voice of Zorak and Moltar because uh, C. Martin passed away a couple years back, so I won't be able to meet him ever. But like, hopefully, if George Lowe recovers from his health issues he's had recently, which I really hope he does because he's a really nice guy. He seems really cool and down to earth. You can follow him on Facebook on his page, and he always updates uh, fans about what he's doing and stuff. And he's even responded to comments and questions I've asked him. So he's a really nice guy. I know, and I hope he's doing better. Last I heard, he was still kind of in rough shape, but hopefully he's doing okay now. But hopefully someday I'll be able to meet him and get this signed by him as well. Because, like I said, meeting Brack was really fun and cool. And I never, in a million years, I never thought I'd meet someone that worked on Space Ghost Coast Coast. Because, like, you got to think, I've been watching this show since I was a little kid. And I even told him that. I was like, I've been watching this since I was probably like 7, 8 years old. Back when it was like still kid friendly. He's like, yeah, we got pretty adult later on, but like, he's like, wow, I can't believe you've been watching that long, like since basically it started. I was like, my older brother watched it way more than I was ever able to, but yeah, like if you like comedies and like pseudo, I don't know what's wrong with my throat today, pseudo talk show format stuff, then this is like right up your alley. It's pretty funny, and there's a lot of good and funny celebrity guests, and I think people would really enjoy it today. I wish it would be more widely available to watch and own physically. One day I hope they decide to like reprint this for the U.S. market because I think it deserves to get a better physical representation and release because it's a really funny show that I still think holds up to today. Because it doesn't get there's nothing that would offend people or offend cancel culture or anything like that. It's still pretty like good humor, funny humor, and it's just really funny. And I really enjoy the show, and I'm really glad to have this in my collection. So thank you guys for supporting me on Patreon, and thank you guys for watching this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to leave a like and comment down below. Let me know what your favorite Space Ghost episode was if you watched it. If not, please try to go check this out. It's really funny. I think people would enjoy it. Anyway, guys, that's it for me. Thanks for watching. Shout out to go to my Patreon supporters. Thanks for supporting the channel, and these are my I guess my top supporters. I don't know how else to put it. Hold on. Okay, sorry, I had my list up, but I accidentally closed it before. Anyway, shout out to go to Matt Y99, Reaper 7734, Title Cow, AJ Gottawa, Oliver Frederick, Zoe Adfee, It's Me, Charlize, Joe, William Swift, Griff 17, John McKean, Reverse Security, Zoo Hall, Artistic Tomahawk, Preliab, Just Drew, Ariman Sane, HHG Fan, George McConnell, Elliot Scott, Benjamin Tellen, and Mac Lewisaro, or Lewisaro, if I'm pronouncing it wrong. I apologize. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, and thank you for liking the last video about Caleb. I'm glad you guys are enjoying these videos. I am too, so hope you guys are as well. Thanks for watching. Peace.